You fought
Yes.
and you got the driving license. And you have a record in Limca Book of Records for getting a driving license at the age of 44. And you're covered in Times of India, across India for doing that. Can you tell me that story? How did that happen?
Well, it's actually not the age, but that I drive without hands. So that was the real, I think,
That's the reason
challenge.
why I held it. I never told people what was the great thing about it. So
So,
Vikram is someone who doesn't have two hands, and I'm going to share the story. I'm going to ask him that how happened, what happened. But without that, he started driving with his legs.
yes, so that was, I would say, the real challenge was actually getting the coveted permanent driving license, which I think a lot of people take for granted. But I realized that it was going to be difficult because I was the first one to challenge the law, and it had never been done. They have never issued a license to anyone, even if they had one hand missing, it was considered that you can't drive. So I was really going up against literally like a concrete wall, and but I was very confident because I'd gone through the Motor Vehicle Act, the act that decides. So nowhere does it discriminate. In fact, they have a section. It's called the invalid carriage, which has been recently amended to now adapted vehicle. So they have it. Only thing is that it is not in practice, and there is a bit of a grey area, you want to call it, and it was left to the authority to take. It's like a sort of a discretionary kind of a thing.
So you were actually driving with your legs, but you wanted a license. And the law very clearly till date had not given a license for somebody who's differently abled, right?
No, differently able as in like the paraplegics, so they have this hand control car where you have all the controls on your, basically on your hand. So they were being issued licenses.
Okay.
But without hands was something that was unthinkable, impossible, as I think a lot of people told me.
They assumed that no one is going to come and it's not going to happen.
Ironically, that is what is assumed about me in every case. When people look at a person like me, the thought that goes through their mind is that I'm totally dependent on others. I can't do anything.
No, I saw you in the training room. You were doing jumping and dancing on stage also. So for people who think like that, no way. Now tell me this first before we go to the license.
Yes.
How did you learn driving? Because the way we drive is hands on the steering.
Yes.
And you need two legs, one for your acceleration brake, right? That's a
Yeah.
standard. So how
Yeah.
did you learn driving first, even to think of it?
So now, if I may bring up, I actually do everything with my legs. So for me, I think it wasn't that difficult physically. I realized that it is feasible. Only thing that I needed was, of course, an automatic car. So I bought myself a Maruti Celerio automatic, and I felt that this much I can afford.
Which leg do you use for steering wheel?
I use my right leg for steering, so I made a small modification in my car because I couldn't reach the original accelerator, which is on the right side, with my left foot because I have to be, and then the posture was also uncomfortable. So I've got another accelerator on the left-hand side of the brake pedal. So in my car, there are two accelerators.
So your brake pedal is here. Normally acceleration is the right side. For you, you have
Yes,
accelerator
so
here.
this foot comes up here. I'm able to grip the steering with my toes. Again, I evolve, as I keep saying, because initially when I was steering, it was like a flat like this, and I used to do that.
Okay.
Then
So you used
gradually,
to, okay.
yeah. So gradually, this thumb came under the steering now, and these toes now come on top. So now it's
So
a
you're kind of
proper
holding
grip.
it.
So now it's a proper grip. I can easily turn left and right. So this foot is like this. It's resting on the door. So this gives me a lot of stability. If I go through a ditch or something, it doesn't come off. Had it been the other foot, maybe, I would risk that because it's just dangling literally. So that's why I've been using my right foot for steering, because I feel steering needs my right foot because it's my predominant foot.
Correct.
If I have to do any task, I use my right foot. The left foot is more to bear the load. If I'm
balancing.
The balancing, yes. So I can balance better with my left, keep my right up in the air. So it came naturally to me.
How long did it take for you to learn driving?
It came so fast, you can't believe me. I mean, it was literally something like a divine intervention. I felt like, I was meant to do this because I had only, like, taken a trial. Like, I went twice in that vehicle, and I just got that feeling that, hey, I can do this. All I need is a
Serious?
little practice.
All of us took at least a few, I don't know how many days with our instructor to get it done. Because even you used to hold starting it used to go like this. And you're saying with your legs you got it right in 2 times. Oh man.
I keep saying this, I'm bringing it up, that it's not about having hands or not having hands. It's the attitude. It's how you perceive any situation. I don't consider it a challenge. A lot of people have a fear for driving and are scared maybe, of causing an accident or being involved in an accident. I think my mother, I would say, made me pretty fearless. So that was never a thought on my mind. And of course, you need to believe in yourself.
Yeah, you
know,
just
if you
spoke
keep
about your
the-
mother, I remember. We're going to go there, but first tell me this. So you started driving and now you wanted a license. Then you realized that nobody in India has yet got a license like this.
Yes.
So how long did it take for you to really fight and get it done? First tell me that. How long did it take?
Surprisingly, not as long as I had actually, I don't know whether I should say hoped, because I thought I might have to fight, like, and maybe take it up till the Supreme Court, maybe, challenging it. But it took only 15 months. From that moment I applied for the learners to the time I got myself a permanent license, it just took 15 months. And to tell you the truth, I was a little disappointed.
Yeah, I remember the quote I read somewhere. You said that learning to drive was much more easy than getting a license.
Of course, because see, when it came to driving, that was dependent on my skill and me. But getting the license, I had to convince the authorities, who already have a very negative mindset. Not negative, if I may say, they have a very narrow mindset. And unfortunately, they lack exposure, and they've not come across a person like me. And that's why I feel that, the biggest difference I've made is that I've made people realize that having hands or not having hands, it doesn't make a difference. So I suppose changing the mindset has become sort of my mission now. Trying to, tell people that don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.